What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, taking over for Ben tonight, who is away ill, and I'm going to go through the round 3 tipping point results with you tonight. He's away ill, but really, you're going to get a far more insightful take on the game of football this week, rather than adhering to Ben's goddamn system that he's got going that only makes sense to him and nobody else, and seems to want to change the rules whenever sees fit. We're going to go through what he got up to with his tips this week. We're going to see what worked and what didn't for him, and let's get into it nice and quickly. Let's begin by looking at his round 2 tips, where he made 3 mistakes. 2 of them anyone could have told you about, but really there was one that he absolutely nailed. We don't love it as Geelong fans, but he nailed the St Kilda and Geelong pick, with the Saints getting the job done against the Cats by 7 points, extending their winning streak against the Cats to 4 at Marvel Stadium. The other 2, though, that I think were pretty obvious, and most people would have told him to pick otherwise. Certainly the comments said pick Hawthorn, was Carlton Hawthorn, which he got wrong, and the Crows against the Bombers, which he also got wrong. The Crows breaking a 10-game losing streak at the MCG. The Hawks doing what they've been doing all season so far and just winning. The Blues just not. So not a great start for them. And he did get the North and Melbourne game wrong, which is fair to say I think most people did. If we now flick over and look at the overall leaderboard, we'll see, and with a little bit of extra context here, we'll come to learn that Ben got his 5 right. He's sitting on a total of 13 so far. Nationwide, he is 355,000th. And at the Hoops Crew, he is 101st out of 192. I will say I am number 96. I am right smack bang halfway through at my margins. It's just a little bit better than Ben so far, but I'm going to take it, and that means that you are going to get a more insightful take on the game of football this week. Chloe Katz 47 continues to linger on top of the ladder there, despite a lesser round 2 there where she got 5, still sits in front on 16, along with Rob Pat 67, who was also on 16. Catwoman, Liam the Pussycat, and Dazza the Catman, very original names, everyone, all sitting on 15 correct tips themselves. All right. Let's get into my tips for round 3, 2025. Now, I need to quickly bring them up because I have completely forgotten who is playing, and I am recording this far more off the cuff than Ben ever would. Our first game this week is the Port Adelaide Power taking on the Bombers. They are traveling to Victoria to play the Bombers at Marvel Stadium. For my mind, I know Ben's data might say otherwise, whatever systems he's got might say otherwise. For me, the Port Power will get this job done pretty comfortably. I've tipped them with a margin of 25 points. Next up, we've got Carlton going head-to-head with the Dogs, and this is a really hard one. I'm certainly looking at the Footy Tips website at the moment where we run our footy tipping comp, and I'm seeing that there's 48% of tipsters who've gone for Carlton, 52% that have gone for the Dogs. And right now, the betting odds, they're sitting on $1.90 a piece. So really, no one can split these 2 teams at the moment. Right now, my head says Carlton, not because they've been doing anything particularly amazing, but I think if I think about the big key matchups, we're talking about Charlie Curnow at one end, and we're talking about Sam Darcy at the other. And I think Carlton has the ability to shut Sam Darcy down with Wiedering. Whilst I don't think the Dogs have the same means to be able to shut down a Charlie Curnow. Of course, they have Lobb, and they've got some great defenders that are doing a great job, but I don't see someone on that level capable of shutting down Curnow like the Blues are capable of shutting down Darcy. So for me, I don't say it with any degree of confidence, I'm tipping the Blues at least right now. Mine is subject to change. I'm not locking anything in, unlike Ben. Next up, Saturday, the 29th of March, we have a few games going on here. Melbourne play against the Gold Coast. That is at the MCG. I'm going for the Gold Coast in that matchup. I am full of faith in terms of what they can deliver. The D's, they'll absolutely be stung a little bit by getting bashed up by the Roos on the weekend, but I'm going to continue to persist with the Suns. I love what they are building and what they are becoming, and I think they're going to go to Melbourne and get the chocolates this week. Another game in Melbourne is at Marvel Stadium at 4:15 on Saturday. St Kilda playing against Richmond. Asked me this 1 week ago, and I would have said, oh, geez, it might be a little bit hard to pick against the Tigers here after what they did against the Blues and how woeful the Saints were the week before. But the Saints reasserted themselves with it, obviously a fantastic win against our boys, the Cats. They go in red-hot favourites, and I'm going to tip them in this one. They've also got a pretty good history. If you want to lean into some of Ben's side, They also have a pretty good history against the Tigers. Apologies for all the crickets in the background who are coming out in force tonight. The two nighttime games. The first one, Hawthorn and the Giants at the University of Tasmania Stadium. They will be my pick in this particular one, going against the Giants. Tipsters say the Hawks as well. I can't find any reason to question the form of the Hawks so far. They'll get the points there. And the other one, and this is disastrously scheduled off the back of the need for a reschedule due to the cyclone. But Brisbane and the Cats with the prelim final replay at the Gabba, 7:35, the exact same time as what is quite... I mean, all four of these teams could well be in the top four at the end of the year, and they are playing simultaneously. Disastrous thinking from the AFL. But I've got the Cats winning it. And a little bit of that is, of course, my Geelong bias. But also, I just don't think the Lions are going all that well. And I think what Geelong has showed, their ceiling so far this year is higher than the ceiling of the Lions. And I think they're going to respond quite harshly to what happened against the Saints this weekend. I think we'll get the points. But we are absolutely not the favourite in this matchup. The Sunday games, there's two of them because, of course, we have a bye this week between the Pies and the Swans. We have two more games. Adelaide at 3:20 against North Melbourne. They will absolutely smash North Melbourne despite a very good performance from North this past weekend. And then we had the Derby, and I called it a Western Bash last night on the Paul James Show. 6:10 at Optus Stadium, Fremantle against West Coast. Freo to get the points there. They stepped up to the plate against Sydney and didn't quite get the points, but I was pretty impressed with how they went about it. They'll beat a far lesser opponent, and we'll see how many people Harley Reid flips off during the game. That is my tips for the tipping point, round 3. Ben will be back doing his thing. Oh my God, I'm scrolling through the Word doc here and I'm seeing all these ridiculous formulas and stuff he's got on the back end. It's absolutely crazy. Good luck making any sense of it. I'm sure you haven't. But here's a far more rational, logical take on footy tipping in season 2025. Let's see how it works out for me in round 3. Watch me get 8 from 8. We'll go 9 from 8 even this week and go climbing up that ladder. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, drop a like on this video and share your thoughts on my tips, Ben's tips, his ridiculous systems, and a whole lot more in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.